Inshallah, we are lover of the Imam and his Noor. We will be successful soon. Ji.
Yali Madad Aziz sir.
Yali Madad.
Sir, मेरा ये question है. I know I'm asking you to repeat this, but जो आप first thing जो आज आप बताए जो prescription वाला thing जो किसी ने आपको personally message दिया था. So please can you repeat that prescription thing again?
Okay, I will send you the recording of last week, and there was a two prescription. One was to cure our illness of the soul, and second was to prepare our soul for the Ibadat. And in short, the prescription was that our Ibadat does not start at 4 o'clock in the morning, but the Ibadat and the preparation start when you wake up in the morning and is all day long. And I will ask Altaf to share the previous week lecture with you, and you can see that in a detail. And the second prescription was how to do Ibadat. And those two, whenever and wherever I have had the opportunity to talk about, not one, not a dozen, but so many people have come and have said, even though I talk about 40 days, some people have said it didn't even take them 7 days to see the improvement in their Ibadat. So please receive the recording from Altaf.
Thank you.
There's a question from Tasneem Maksud.
Yali Madad, I wanted to ask, basically when I do Ibadat, I tend to do it in the morning when I go for a walk, very early in the morning I go for a walk. Is that still counted as opposed to getting up at 4 in the morning or 3 in the morning because I've got kids and everything, so life can get a bit hectic, but I have this window of peace and quiet when I go for a walk and the rest of London is quiet and it's very dark and I go out and I go for my 1 hour walk and I do my Ibadat at that time. I can barely hear the birds. The sun is just coming up, and I'm at peace. Then, is it acceptable?
Okay, so let's say what our dais, Hujjatan, Peers, and Imam have said. There is nothing wrong with what you're doing. So let's say what they have said. The Ibadat time is time of Qurbani, time of sacrifice. कोई भी चीज कुर्बानी के बगैर नहीं मिलती है. Qurbani is must. And what Qurbani are you giving? You're giving the Qurbani of your rest, Qurbani of your sleep, and Qurbani of your time. If you are from London, and if you remember Mola Papa's visit in 1996 in London, what did Mola Papa say? Our tariqa is of conviction, not of a convenience. You see that?
Yes.
Even though you are receiving some sawab, but what about the Qurbani? Where is that? That part is missing, right? So when we wake up in the morning, we giving a Qurbani to Mola Baba that I wanted to give up my rest, my sleep, my comfort, and I'm here, Mola Baba. And one of the examples which I had given last week, and I love this example, and I know a lot of people laugh, but I love this example, so I'm going to go ahead and give you one more time. Okay? So I always say that just think of me as a young Jawan Ladka, and I fall in love with a woman. What time will I wake up to go see my girlfriend? Matter of fact, I won't even be able to sleep. If you love the Imam, how can you sleep? Imam is your lover. Imam is your girlfriend. Imam is your boyfriend. How quickly will you get up and run to see someone you love? That is the example. I know some people laugh at this, but I love this example, so always give. G.
Thank you.
Aziz bhai, any other?
Malali Madad.
Again, this is a very wonderful talk, honestly. You really put it laid down in such a way. But I enjoyed the prayers at the beginning, because if we don't prepare ourselves, listen to this talk, look at how many people are still on there, and we are getting the benefit of the spiritual kind of awakening, as it were, all of us. Without that knowledge, it's very difficult, like you said, to actually progress. We need to understand. A couple of things that you mentioned, which are obviously the questions that keep coming up when people ask questions. The first was about the farman that you mentioned. I cannot remember ever hearing that farman at all. Now, it was very important farman, but again, this is one of the part of the problem where unless you listen to that farman and you take in what is actually Hajmam has said, then you can probably try to walk in his path. But if you have never heard it, then it becomes a little bit difficult. So that's one point. And therefore, the question of Betul Khayal farmans, obviously they can only be given read out in the morning or in Betul al-Maqdas, so obviously it's restricted that way. But those who go there ought to have heard this farman, because it's a very important farman. It allows you to then walk in that his guidance and follow it through. The second point I wanted to say is that this briefing that's given for those who are wishing to take ball, and I think you hit it on the nail very correctly, that the impression given is that please, if you're not ready, don't take it. But you are ready from the day you are born. But there is a restriction to say that until you are attained the age of 18 and so on, you cannot really go for that ball. So there's an age limit kept for your own safety, because if you take it when you're too young, maybe you might not be able to remember whatever. The important thing is that these briefings, like the way you explained here, probably allows us to understand that spiritual side of us vis-a-vis the physical side, where we are not prepared. But the physical side, the spiritual side is always prepared. It's meeting its Nur Malik. How can it not be prepared? So I think we hit it on the nail very much there. The problem is that that's not the way normally the briefings for the ball preparation are given, and that's one of the biggest problems, you know. Even for promotion and so on, it's the same thing. I mean, you said it very nicely that when I come again, I give you another ball and so on. These are the lines of promotion to allow us to spiritually progress. But if you'd like to comment on that again, because I think that probably is explained properly, so then I think maybe people can understand why we have difficulty in trying to understand this concept, because these are concepts that are core of the spiritual guidance from the Imam and the gift that he gives to us. Thank you so much.
Thank you for a really great comment and great way of recapping and understanding. Great, thank you. You know, I remember one of the questions that I had received. I believe it was right after Sunday session last week, and that person said, well, I'm right now very busy with my work. Maybe when I retire, I will do my Ibadat. What is the guarantee that you will make it to 65 and retire? Are you saying you know for sure that your life will be at least of 65-year-old? Please, 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 listen to what Mullah Bapa said in our previous Jama. Mullah Bapa said, Ibadat jawani mein karni chahiye. Jab tum आराम से बैठ सको तब करनी चाहिए. What did Mullah Bapa say in his previous Jama? Do the ibadat when you are young, because you can sit straight when you are young, not when you are old. Do not wait for tomorrow. Tomorrow never returns. There is no guarantee that we will make it to 65. What about today was my last day? How many times do we tell ourselves, how about I go to work tomorrow, not today? How come we are in a hurry to make money, but not in a hurry to do ibadat? How many times do we tell our children, How about you go to school when you are more mature, 30, 40, 50-year-old, not when you are 6, 7, 8-year-old? Why do we have these two different standard? For dunya, we are in so much hurry. But for our soul, we'll do it tomorrow. Why? G.
Thank you very much. Missionary Sahib, we always hear that before you are able to, or lack of better word, able to receive the nur, you should be able to get rid of your 5 sins that we have, or we occur: calm, krodh, jealousy, bad nazar. Isn't it true that until we get rid of all those, we are not really eligible or able to receive the nur?
Yes. So, having said that, and I'm agreeing with you, yes. Did you know there are 3 ways merciful Imam can forgive our sin? 3 ways, okay? And I will send you the references through Altaf. If you like to read, you can read them, okay? I will send each one of those references. 3 ways. 1, because Allah is merciful, because Imam is merciful, He ignores our sin. Like we ignore the mistake of our children. Just think of your child. If you are married and if you have children, if they break a glass, or if they break a plate, or they break something very expensive, and if you are merciful father, what do? You will quickly say, कोई बात नहीं है बेटा, दूसरा ग्लास खरीद लेंगे. कोई बात नहीं है बेटा, दूसरी प्लेट आ जाएंगी. You know why? Because you love your child more than that plate or glass that he just broke. Imam is so merciful, and we are his spiritual children. So first way he forgive our sin is he ignore our sin. Second, he forgive our sin when we ask, when we do tobo, he forgive our sin. Third, and this is the best one, that I love myself personally. And I will send the reference for each one of this, okay? The third is that Allah, the Imam, what he does, he will take your shortcomings and he will accept. He will accept your shortcomings and still give you his nur. And for that, a quick reminder. When Imam gives us a farman, take any farman you want. Any farman you want out of the farman book. And read this one and underline this one word. When Imam says, he doesn't say, I will forgive your sin. What does he say? I accept your sin. I accept your sin. I accept your shortcomings. Do you see that? How merciful our Imam is, that he will just take your sin on himself and he will leave you pure. Believe. If Imam wants to give you the nur tomorrow, he will purify you and give you his nur.
Okay, to follow up, if I may take this chance one more time before, I'm sorry. Here's my thinking. We all know that the Imam has said that he's always with us, which means that he's in our soul, in our body, all the time. And here we are saying our goal, and we are not able to recognize that he is there. And as Imam says, over time, it's a long journey. You will eventually be blessed with the nur. So if he's already there, does it mean that we have so many veils so many veils that we have to overcome before we are blessed with the nur? Is that the long journey that he's referring?
Yes. To understand this, our peers has told us that you need to shut down 3 external doors so you can open a door within you. What are those 3 external doors? Ears, eyes, and mouth. Those are 3 physical external doors. If you shut down them, meaning close your ears, close your eyes, and close your mouth, be silent. Don't hear anything, don't see anything. And then if you sit in Bethul Khayal, then the internal door will open. Now, let me explain the internal door, because I don't know, people are getting all kind of different understanding of internal door. There are 7, not 1, not 2, but 7 eternal doors. And each door will open step by step as you progress. Sometime when Mominin, when the people who does not have enough or correct knowledge, 2 things, okay? Enough or the true correct knowledge, when the first door opens and they receive their very happiness, the first spark of the nur, वो खुश हो जाते हैं और वो छोड़ देते हैं, वो बोलते हैं ओ मेरे को नूर मिल गया, and they stop. And they don't realize that this is just the beginning, the first door. Then the second door opens. The difference between first door and second door. I'm going to say something. Do not ask me to repeat this. I will not repeat. The first door, when that happens, and the spark that you will see is a silent spark. When the second door opens and the spark you will receive, that is called Goinda, speaking Isme Azam. And I'm going to leave that to that, and that's it. Ji. So let me repeat the question for those who are joining us from London. I'm not sure they were with us yesterday. In our Canada class yesterday, everybody was asking question. So I thought, how about me? How about I ask a question? And that's what she was talking about. And I asked a question, and I'm not expecting anyone to answer today or in this session. Okay? Let me just ask you a question so you have something to think about, and so you know how deep our religion is and what are the questions that we are not even asking or even thinking. But remember, our children are much more clever and open-minded than we are. So in our REC, when I was teaching, they were asking, one of the child asked, and listen to this question and you will be amazed. What makes an imam imam? बस एकदम सिंपल क्वेश्चन. क्या चीज है जो इमाम को इमाम बना देती है? What a beautiful question. We have what I did not tell our Canada session yesterday. So of course, with Imam's mercy, I was able to answer the child or their REC center, the class that I was taking. But I told them, I said, you know, there's such a great question. I want you to do 3 things. Go to Mukhi Sahib and ask Mukhi Sahib this question. Go to and find a Tariqa board representative and ask them a question. Find a missionary and ask them that question. If they cannot answer this question, then you come to me and I promise you, I will answer this question. Same challenge is for everybody on this session today. Write it down if you like. What makes an imam? Imam. Imam को क्या चीज इमाम बनाती है? जी.
Thank you, Sankur. Yalla Madad, this is Kayal.
Kiyali Ali Madad.
Yalla Madad. I'm going to ask a question which I think is on behalf of many others who also have this question, because it comes up from time to time in this discussion about Ismi Azam. It's a two-part question, and the second part will relate to the other question somebody just asked about promotion, or she made a comment about promotion. But before getting to promotion, just let's discuss the initial bowl ceremony or Ismi Azam. If someone had not gone for Ismi Azam, for whatever reason, whether they were too young at the time, or they felt, as they were understood, that they were not ready, they were not practicing, excuse me, were not practicing, but then at some point they decided, they woke up, they wanted to start practicing, they became more serious, but they did not have the chance because Imam has not come to give Ismi Azam. Sometimes some of them are very much worried that somehow they're at a major disadvantage from those who went for Ismi Azam, meaning they want to practice. In fact, they are practicing. They wake up and they're taking whatever name, be it most likely, let's say, the name of Imam, name of Ya Ali. How important is it, or let's say the other way around, how worried should they be? Because oftentimes they're so worried and disappointed, they feel that they will be blocked because they didn't get the fortune of receiving Ismi Azam. But if they have the love for the Imam, and they're studying, and they're learning the knowledge, the true hikmah, and they're practicing regularly, how worried should they be, if at all, that they did not receive an Ismi Azam, if we believe that we have a personal, direct link with the Imam, and we are sitting Ibadat in his name, then how worried should we be? The second part relates to this because it's about promotion, because sometimes you might read here, or you hear sometimes that some people say, I've read this myself in some publication somewhere, or people pass around these emails and forwards, that at a certain point, the barakat, or sort of the power of Ismi Azam has stopped for you, the first one, and to progress any further, you will have to receive the second Ismi Azam. And if you don't, you will be stuck at the first level. Is there any truth to that? Or is it that you can become, inshallah, arif, and have marifat through the first Ismi Azam if you are practicing regularly and have the grace? So that's the basic idea, is how important is it to get the formal Ismi Azam, whether it's first, second, third? Can you do it without the Ismi Azam in that verbal sense?
Okay, so your first question, how worried should one be? I would say none. Don't worry about it. Why would I say that? Imam himself, in different ways, because sometimes as a children, we don't know what is good for us. We don't know that what we need. So what Imam does, as a merciful father, our spiritual father, what he does, because he knows what is good for us, so he gives us Ismi Azam without saying it is a Ismi Azam. ગુજરાતી માં કહે છે કે ઘણી દવા છે ને બચ્ચાને જબરદસ્તી ખાવાનું ખવડાવવું પડે. In English, in our Gujarati is saying that sometimes you have to feed forcefully to the children. So what Imam does sometimes, because we don't understand what is good for us, he does give us Ismi Azam forcefully without telling us. And I'll give you one example, and that will answer your question. When Imam said, when you have a second, a moment available to you, and because Imam saying with his Mukh Mubarak, call upon Allah, call upon Ali, call upon Muhammad, call upon any names of the Imam. Because Imam has given us that with his Mukh Mubarak, with his blessing, you can use that as your Ismi Azam if you have not received a formal Ismi Azam. Okay? So do not worry, Do not be concerned. Trust and believe in Imam's mercy. That is more important than anything else. Trust and believe in Imam's mercy. He knows what is good for you, and he have dealt with that need already. Second example I will give. If this was a matter of concern, then what about those Ismaili which have not received didar or never had opportunity to go in front of Imam and receive the Ismi Azam? For example, in China, for example, in Russia, or for example, in those countries where Imam has not visited ever or not have visited for long time. Imam is merciful. Yes, physically we have limit that we cannot get to the Imam. But Imam has no limitation. Imam can give you Ismi Azam in two ways. During a Farman without calling it Ismi Azam, or he can come into your Batin in two ways. Again, in two ways. He can come in your dream and he can come in your Ibadat and give you Ismi Azam. Imam has no limit. We have a physical limit. Imam doesn't. Second question was about promotion. There are two kinds of promotion, and I'm sure you already know that. I do not have to tell anyone on this line. There are two reasons a mu'min, a murid goes to his murshid for second Ismi Azam. For two reasons. One, because the first Ismi Azam for some reason did not work for that murid. There is nothing wrong with Ismi Azam. It just did not work for you. So you go back to Mola and says, please Mola, could you give me another Ismi Azam? In our tariqa, there's a particular term for that. और उसको बोलते हैं चिट्ठी बदलाना. चिट्ठी बदलाना. There's a term that is used for that. But there is another reason the mu'min goes to the murshid and say, I have completed my Ismi Azam and I still wanted to progress even further. It is not the word he is going for. It's not the word he is going for. The dua ashish, the blessing, the khana vadan. He wants Imam's blessing one more time. And you will be surprised. Again, I will not repeat this again. I'm going to just say it one time. Most of the time when you go for second Ismi Azam to progress, not because you have forgotten or not because your first Ismi Azam didn't work for you. If you go for your second Ismi Azam, there is a more than likely chance that Imam will give you the same Ismi Azam with even more blessing. Remember, it was about the blessing and Khanawatan, not about the word. There is so much knowledge of Baitul Khiyal that we don't know. We are gathered here today to learn about that knowledge of the Imam of the Baitul Khiyal. I believe this completes both of your answers, both of your questions, and you have received the sufficient answer to understand. Thank you, Khiyal.
Thank you, Aziz Uncle. Another question, 1 second. Just while we're on there, a couple of people asked about this 40 days. When the light is going to come to you, right? And if you're giving a time scale, they're asking what this means.
Okay.
Sorry,
yes.
Just
so, if you go back and listen to what I said, I say, I wish and pray Inshallah, if you follow the Imam's Farman, and if you believe in Imam's Dua Ashish, it could happen to you within 40 days. And then I said, why even 40 days? It could happen to you in 7 days. And if you listen to Imam's Farman, I'm not saying anything. You always listen to Imam's Farman. You know what Imam has said? It could even happen to you the very first time you sit in Ibadat. Who's putting the timeline? Not me. I'm just hoping and praying that when my Imam said it could happen to you the very first time you sit, then why not? Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, yes.
Muncho question here, what happens if you have got doubt on your ball? I think my ball is right, but if you have got doubt, what can one do?
That's very easy to find out the correct ball, okay? So, and this happens all the time. This is nothing new. You are not the first one nor the last one, okay? So I समझो था ना, English समझो था ना सही तरह से? Okay. Because my Kutchi is not very well.
No, I understand English.
Okay,
I speak in English.
Very well.
Don't
So
forget.
there is an easy way to find out. Because ball is one of the name of Allah from the Quran, so what you do, you can listen to the 99 names of Allah in the Quran, and when you get to the Isme Azam, the ball that Imam had given to you, stop your recording and re-listen to it again and again until you can confirm that that is the word that Imam has given you. Now, in the tilawat of those names, don't listen to tilawat, because the way they go, you may not be able to catch. But there are Ismailis, and I can share and send you the 99 names of Allah in very, very easy way of reciting. The reason we recorded this, for those brothers and sisters who have forgotten their Ismi Azam, because I cannot help them directly. So what we have done, we have asked those who can recite this Ismi Azam slowly and clearly. If you listen to them, when you come to your word, stop and then repeat that Ismi Azam again and again until all the doubts are gone. जी.
Yes, uncle. Do you want to just repeat it?
Okay. हम दो चीज़ों की बात कर रहे थे. जो पहली बात कर रहे थे वो थी कि इसमें आज़म इमाम हमको कभी कभार छुपा कर भी देता है. ज़रूरी नहीं है कि अगर हमने मिस कर दिया है तो हम पीछे रह गए. वो बात हो रही थी. सेकंड जो हमारी सिस्टर ने पूछा कि क्या वो अगर मैं इसमें आज़म को भूल गई या मेरे इसमें आज़म में मेरे को शायद 1920 डाउट हो गया है कि यही वर्ड बोला था कि और कोई वर्ड बोला था, तो मेरे को किसका पता चले? आपने केम खबर पड़े ना? तो एना माटे एक आसान तरीको आ छे that you listen to an audio of 99 names of Allah અને એમાંથી જ્યારે તમે પોતાના इसमें आज़म ने ओरखी लियो, जब आप उसको पहचान लेना तो वहाँ पर ऑडियो रोक कर वो इसमें आज़म को बार 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 सुने जब तक कि आपको वो बोल याद रह जावे. तो ये एक तरीका है इसमें आज़म को दोबारा से याद करने का, क्योंकि मैं आपको डायरेक्टली नहीं बता सकता हूँ और डायरेक्टली हम इस पर डिस्कशन नहीं कर सकते हैं, लेकिन दरवाज़ा बंद नहीं है. देयर इज़ अ वे कि हम फाइंड आउट करें कि हमारा इसमें आज़म का प्रोनाउंसिएशन, हमारा इसमें आज़म का वर्ड करेक्ट हमने समझा है कि नहीं समझा है. ठीक है, समझ गए आप? જી
કે શું કહેવા માંગુ છું કે છે ને હું ઉઠું છું ભંગીમાં પછી છે ને હું બેસી નથી શકતી તો હું સૂતી હું અને અંદર બોલું મારું બોલતી હું જાગતી હું આઈ એમ સ્લીપિંગ and then I set the alarm that what time I have to get up before 5, like 5 or 10 minutes before. Is it thing you think it is alright or not?
આપણે પીરે શું કીધું આપણને સૂતા બેઠતા જાગતા મોલાનું નામ લીજો કુરાનના અંદર સુરા તન આયત નંબર 191 92 ને 93 માં તમે જઈને વાંચશો ને તો તમને એક્ઝેક્ટલી આ જ વાત મળશે કે સ્ટેન્ડિંગ સિટિંગ ઓર સ્લીપિંગ રિમેમ્બર યોર લોર્ડ આપણી નિયત છે ને નિયત આપણી ઇન્ટેન્શન એ સાચી હોવી જોઈએ કે હું ઉઠવાની હું મારા મોલાથી પ્રેમ કરું છું ને હું મારા મોલાની ઇબાદત કરવાની બસ આ જરૂરી છે પછી અગર તમે નથી બેસી શકતા તો તમે સૂઈને કરો અગર તમે પગને નથી વારી શકતા તો લાંબા પગ કરીને કરો ઘણા માણસો ઊભે કરે ઘણા માણસો બેઠે કરે ઘણા માણસો સૂતે કરે લેકિન જરૂરી શું છે નિયત આપણી નિયત શું છે જી
ઓકે ઓલરાઈટ અને જો આપણે બોલ ભૂલી ગયા હોય તમે હમણાં થોડીક પહેલા કીધું કે તમે ઓલા 99 નેમ્સ ઓફ ઇમામ લેવો તો પછી એમાં કેમ ખબર પડે કે આ મારો બોલ હતો
અગર તમે એકદમ જ ભૂલી ગયા છો ને તો પછી તમે ઠીક કરો છો જે બી મોલાનું નામ તમને સારું લાગે છે ને યાલિયા મોહમ્મદ અલ્લાહ જે બી તમને સારું લાગે છે કરીમ બી હોય સુલતાન બી હોય તો કઈ ફરક નથી પડતો તો કામે કે બધા જ મોલાના નામ છે જી બી તમને સારું લાગે જી
ઓકે થેન્ક યુ એક બીજો કે છે ને ઘણી વખતે આપણે ઇબાદત બેઠે છે બંદગીમાં તો બધું બરાબર જાય છે સ્ટ્રેટ લાઈક યુ નો યુ આર ફોકસિંગ એન્ડ સડનલી ઓન યોર માઇન્ડ તમારો બીજો કંઈ ખ્યાલ આવી જાય છે અને because recently I have to pass away in the family no મારા ex husband ને મારી sister તો ખ્યાલ આવી જાય છે બીજું માઇન્ડમાં તો પછી ફોકસ નથી થતું તો એનું શું કરું
એના માટે બે પ્રિસ્ક્રિપ્શન આપવામાં આવી હતી તે પ્રિસ્ક્રિપ્શન નંબર 2 હતી ને જી એ અલ્તાફથી તમે લઈ લેજો એ લેક્ચરના આખરીમાં 10 મિનિટના અંદર એક તરીકો બતાવેલો છે કે અગર ધ્યાન હટી જાય તો શું કરવાનું આપણને તો એ તમે સાંભળશો ઇન્શાલ્લાહ બહેતરીન તરીકો છે ને જેને બી આ તરીકોને વાપર્યો છે ને એ બધા કામયાબ થયા છે ઇન્શાલ્લાહ તો અલ્તાફથી તમે એ લેક્ચર લઈ પાછલા હપ્તાનો ને એના અંદર સાંભળી લેજો પ્રિસ્ક્રિપ્શન નંબર 2
ઓકે
જી
બીજું કઈ
થેન્ક યુ
વેરી મચ એન્ડ યાલી મદદ મોલા તમારી જિંદગી આપે ઈમાની સલામતી આપે મોલા તંદુરસ્તી આપે મોલા આવા સેવા કરવાની મોલા હિંમત શક્તિ પ્રણ આપે મોલા તમારી ફેમિલીને ઈમાનની સલામતી સારે તંદુરસ્તી આપે લાંબો જિંદગી આપે એવી સેવા કરવાની મોલા હિંમત શક્તિ અને પ્રેરણા બક્ષે આમીન
I have a question for you.
Yes.
The question is like recently when Mullah Abba came and he gave Naqsh. So the question is if you cannot visualize your Naqsh, what is the best way with your ball which you have been given the Naqsh?
If you have a Naqsh, then that is your Imam is telling you to focus on. And I'll just give you an example. In the old days, in time of Imam Hassan Ali Shah, even in the time of Sultan Muhammad Shah, may our soul be sacrificed to their Imam, the Jamaat was not very literate. So what Imam would do, and you'll be surprised to know this, and you may already know this, Imam literally would give us a single line. He will just draw a line and say, this is your Ismi Azam. Just one single line, no word. And he will say, focus on this line. And my dua, Ashish, is with you. Focus on that line. So Naqsh, let's say that your Ismi Azam is Ali. Let's say your Ismi Azam is Ali, okay? So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to write Ali, and if you know how to write Ali in whatever language, this is your Naqsh from now on. So when you do your Ibadat, and if Imam has given you the Naqsh of the Ismi Azam, the bowl that he had given you, remember the Ismi Azam practice start before 4 o'clock. Remember that part. If you are practicing your Ismi Azam and waiting for 4 o'clock, you are already too late. The practice starts in the morning, and then the 5 minutes during your time, during your day, and then 3 o'clock in the morning. So by the time you get to 4 o'clock, you have practiced what Imam had given you. And if that is Naqsh, then you have already practiced on the Naqsh. And if you focus on the Naqsh, because Imam has said to focus on Naqsh, then that is the best way to practice your Ibadat. But if you don't have a Naqsh, which is fine, because Imam does not give Naqsh every single time. Sometimes he gives you word, sometimes he gives you Naqsh, and sometimes he gives you word and a Naqsh. If you have a word and a Naqsh, then you can say your Ismi Azam and you can focus on the Naqsh, both at the same time. Ji.
Do you want to go ahead with your question, please?
Can I ask? Yes. મોલા બાપા કીધું છે, શા કરીમ કહે છે કે તમો જો તૈયાર ન હો તો તમો બોલ લેવા નહીં આવતા, કોઈ તમોને દબાણથી નહીં આવતા, બરાબર? શા કરીમ એમ કહે છે. સુલતાન મોહમ્મદ શાહના ફરમાન છે કે યઝીદ અને સિમર જ્યારે એ લોકો ઇમામ હુસૈનને કતલ કર્યા, એ લોકો તો એક જ ઇમામને કતલ કર્યા. જ્યારે તમો મારા મુરીદ, તમો મને આઝમ આપો છો અને સુઈ જાવ છો, તો તમો તો 49 ઇમામ્સને કતલ કરો છો. અને બીજામાં મોલા બાપા એમ કહે છે કે પ્રોફેટના વખતમાં કે આ લોકો આટલું બધું આખી દુનિયા કેમ જીતી શક્યા હતા? એ લોકો જીતી શક્યા હતા કારણ કે એ લોકો ઇબાદત કરતા હતા. સો આઈ એમ સેઇંગ કે હવે બચ્ચા બોલ લઈએ કે ન કે તમે કહો છો કે ઈ લઈએ તો ઈ બ્લેસિંગ છે, બરાબર છે. સો ધીસ ઇઝ માય ક્વેશ્ચન.
ઓકે, તો તમારો ક્વેશ્ચન એ છે, તમે બરાબર કીધું, એકદમ ઠીક કીધું. ને મોલા બાપા બી આપણને પૂછે છે જ્યારે આપણે ઇસ્મે આઝમ લેવા જાય છીએ કે બે ક્વેશ્ચન પૂછે છે ને મોલા બાપા, આર યુ રેડી? એન્ડ સેકન્ડ, have someone force you to come and get it? We should never ever force our children to go get the Isme Azam. આપણે જ્યારે વાત કરીએ છીએ ને આ સેશનના અંદર, આપણે એડલ્ટ્સની વાત કરીએ છીએ ને એડલ્ટ જે હોય છે ને એ અક્કલમંદ હોય છે ને અક્કલમંદને કેવી રીતે શીખવાડવામાં આવે છે? એવી રીતે નહીં જેવી રીતે આપણે બચ્ચાને શીખવાડીએ છીએ. અક્કલમંદને કહેવામાં આવે છે કે જો આ એક ઇનામ છે, આ એક બ્લેસિંગ છે, તમે શું કામે પોતાના ઇનામને, પોતાની બ્લેસિંગને, પોતાના દુઆશીષને રોકો છો? તમે પોતાના રૂહની તરક્કીના અંદર શું કામે પગડાવો છો, આડાવો છો? ટેક ધી બ્લેસિંગ ફ્રોમ ધ ઇમામ. અને અગર તમે કહો છો કે ફિઝિકલી હું આજે રેડી નથી, તો પછી તમે યાદ રાખો કે તમારી રૂહ તો બિચારી તડપી રહી છે, પહેલે દિવસથી તૈયાર છે. તો from the day one, give the benefit of doubt to your soul, અને ઇન્શાલ્લાહ ત્યારે તમે જાશો ને ઇમામને હજુરમાં, ને અગર તમે રેડી નથી બી ને, ઇમામને જોઈ, ઇમામના ઇસ્મે આઝમને સાંભળી, ઇમામના ખાના વદાનને લઈ ને તમે તૈયાર થઈ જશો પોતે પોતે. ઈ કહેવાનું છે. જી
Aziz, I have taken a bowl in 96 and I have never ever done Ibadat Bangi at all. I'm 77 years old. What happens? What should I do? And I'm in a lot of problems, I'm in a lot of difficulties.
Ji. First of all, our prayers, our well-wish is with you. Whatever problem you have, physically, spiritually or intellectually, all your being, may Mola put them away, far, far away from you, and Mola mushkil asan for you. That is first and at most our prayer for you. All of us on this line will have prayer for you, first of all. Second, આપણે કહીએ છીએ ને જ્યારેથી ઉઠ્યા ત્યારથી સવાર. If today you have realized that I have not done right to my soul, then at this minute, from going forward, today, if you still remember your Isme Azam, start today. Start today. Remember, do not give your hope on Imam. La taknutu mir rahmatullah. Don't be disappointed or don't give up your hope in the mercy of Imam. He's so merciful, so merciful. I have 101% belief. If you ask him today and say, Mulapa, this is my shortcoming. I'm so sorry. I'm running a little bit late, but I'm here today. He will open his arm and he will take you in. Don't worry about it. Believe in his mercy. Start today. Start today. And we will pray for you too.
Thank you so much. Yali Madad.
Yali Madad.
Yali Madad.
Mulali Madad.
Yali Madad. I have a question too. We know that Imam is very, very merciful, and you have mentioned 3 things that Mawla does. He accepts our sins and forgives us. My question is, like, sometimes, you have hurt other people. Mawla always had said in his Farman that if you have hurt somebody or harmed somebody, you have to go ask forgiveness to that person. Mawla can forgive if we have done between me and Murshid or something, but if I have done to someone else, would that come in my way when I'm doing bandagi?
Okay. This is such a beautiful question, and I have done, if not 1, not 2, not 3, maybe even more, different sessions and lectures on this. But in short, okay? Remember, there is a talk that we do with our children. Alright? So when our children, let's say you have a son and a daughter, or a couple of sons and a couple of daughters, when they do something to each other, what do you say? Go ask your brother or your sister for forgiveness. Correct? We do that. So they can learn not to harm each other. To learn not to harm each other. To teach our children humbleness of asking for forgiveness. Because there are 2 things. When you ask for maafi, forgiveness, you have to be truly humble to even go to someone and ask for forgiveness. And that is a great way for a moment to become humble. Great way. There is no substitute for that. Having said that, we are no longer children. We are no longer children. And I'm going to give you a logical answer to the question you just asked. Let's say, on this line, I said something, because I cannot see all 100, 200 people on this line. Someone took something out of the proportion, out of the way, and he or she did not like what I said. Because he or she did not like what I said, now I am sinful to that person. How would I go and ask for forgiveness? I can't, right? I don't even know that person.
Right.
Okay, second logical answer. Let's say you and me. Now I know you, you know me. And I done something wrong to you, and I wanted to ask for forgiveness. I book a ticket to London, but by the time I get there to ask for forgiveness, something happens to me and I die. Something happens to you and you are no longer available to meet for asking your forgiveness. Are you saying my sin is so great that Imam's mercy cannot overtake that sin? Meaning Imam mercy मेरे गुनाह से नीचे है और मेरे गुनाह से ऊपर है. Are you saying that? No. Imam mercy is greater than any sin you can commit. And I'm going to give you the last and third answer. And you can tell by my voice कि अब मैं बहुत ज़्यादा जलाल के अंदर बोल रहा हूँ. And this is the reason, the third argument, okay? You know how someone say, and I'm so sorry, some of our ALWAAZ, गुनाह कबीरा, गुनाह कबीरा वो कभी भी माफ नहीं होता है. माफी माफी माफी, so sorry. अगर हम ये कहते हैं, if we say this, कि एक ऐसा गुनाह है जो कोई भी माफ नहीं कर सकता है, तो आप ये कहते हैं कि my Mola's mercy is less than your sin. And I'm telling you with certainty, there is no sin, no sin, no sin which is greater than my Imam's mercy. He can forgive all of the sin, and Imam's farman is, even the Abdul Muljim who killed Imam Hussein, I'll forgive him.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. You see why मैं इतना जलाल में आ गया, क्योंकि मेरे इमाम की रहमत से बड़ा कोई नहीं है, कोई भी गुनाह नहीं है.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes.
याली मदद अजीज भाई.
याली मदद.
मैं गुलजार कैलगरी से बोल रही हूँ. मेरा क्वेश्चन है कि आप मुझे इसमें आजम और वो नक्श दोनों मिला है. So जब मैं बंदगी में बैठती हूँ, sometimes it's really hard to concentrate on both. So what should I do?
Remember your naqsh. Because when Imam gives you both, I will say you are one of the luckiest one that Imam had so much mercy on your soul that he given you two ways to remember him. And naqsh is the easiest way to remember your Isme Azam.
Okay, next question. आपने बोला कि 99 names of Allah के हैं. आप वहाँ पे नक्श देख सकते हो. But जो नक्श मुझे है, नाम है उधर, लेकिन वो उस तरीके से नहीं लिखा हुआ है. Can I sometimes practice on just my palm writing it, or I shouldn't do that?
Yes, you should. You don't have to share. I just did that a second ago. Let's say your Isme Azam is Ali. Just write it down and practice during the daytime. Practice during the daytime, because the practice time is day and the 4 o'clock is the test.
Okay.
You don't have to share with anyone, but you can do that.
Thank you so much. Thank you. मौला आपकी सेवा सब कबूल करे.
Ameen, 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 ameen. Thank you.
और मुझे आपसे दूसरी भी बात करनी है, if I can talk to you privately later on.
Sure.
Thank you so much. Yali Madad.
Yali Madad.
Aziz uncle.
Yeah. Thanks. I won't be too long. Two comments and one question, Mr. Aziz. I'm really glad that you're coming on this forum and you're encouraging people that when Hazimam comes to give ball, that they should come forward instead of discouraging them. I've had these challenges myself, and I said to people, look, you're getting the key to the vault. You don't have to open the vault today or tomorrow, but tomorrow when you open the vault, you don't have the key. You're going to regret it. So thanks for that, and you share my sentiments. Second thing, the mention about the ball and the naqsh. Now, what I would comment on that is that, you focus on the naqsh, but then don't forget, the ball is important, the sound of the ball. The the naqsh will then disappear, and you've got to think of the meaning. The meaning of the naqsh and the meaning of the ball, the word is so important. And you're right, you won't find a naqsh written in Google. It's been written by Hazrat Imam himself, has given that symbol. Yeah. So for those people who have naqsh and ball, don't just think about the naqsh and the ball and the sound, but the meaning of them is so important, because the meaning is what brings it alive. You know, you're talking about speaking and silent. It's the meaning that brings it alive. My question is, it's become where everything is insignificant apart from this ball. Is there a correlation or distinction?
Ji.
That's all I want to know.
Ji. So remember, our tariqa is a dynamic tariqa. What does it dynamic means? It moves forward. Our dua, okay, I don't know how many on this line who would know, what is Ismaili tariqa Shariat? We have three things in our Shariat, in Ismaili tariqa. Dua, the Son, Chandrat Madlas. That's the only three things which is for us, the Shariat of Ismaili tariqa. Anything and everything else either falls in tariqa or hakika. So Shariat is the basic, the example of a child. And those are compulsory, like dua, the son, chandrat mallas. Okay. What is tariqa? You learn what you need to do and why you're doing it. Second step. Third step is hakikat or hakika, the truth. Ibadat and Isme Azam falls into the third step of our tariqa. And that is the reason it's not compulsory, but voluntarily. Only if you wanted to progress, you will come to the Baitul Khayal and you will take this Isme Azam and you will do your Ibadat and you will progress, elevate your soul. The third one. Now tell me, someone who is in university, in the college, someone who has done the PhD, what significance would he have for ABCD book or how to make word? CAT, cat, DOG, dog. What significance he would have? None. None, right? But you still need to know his alphabets. So once you are progressing in spiritual life at the level of hakikat, all other things loses their significance, but you still have to remember your faraz, your alphabets. In the example, even a doctor needs to write prescription and he needs to know the alphabets. Even though he does not use ABC and he does not make the word CAT and BAT or anything like that. I'm telling you something indirectly. I hope you are catching my drift.
Oh, no, thank you for that. And you mentioned the spark.
Question from Tasneem Maksud.
Uncle, I had a question for you about chronic disability and ball. Should one continue to do ball through the pain?
What is Imam's firman about that? Do you remember? Imam has said three conditions that person are forgiven, but if you are able to, why not? But Imam has given you out for three conditions. One was if you are sick, chronic condition, if you are pregnant, or if you are in traveling. Those are the three times Imam has given us a leeway to not do the ibadat. But if you can, even through the chronic condition, can you imagine the sawab of that? That you are going through a pain, but still you want to remember your Mawla, you love Imam so much, you don't want to let go.
And then the other one is mindful. When I'm out and about, my mind will just start reciting the ball or remembering the ball, and then I'm aware. So I stay in that time limit, whatever it will be. It can be 5 minutes or it can be 15 minutes, but I'm aware what my mind is doing. So I'm not moving my lips, but it's my mind that's doing everything. Is that okay to take place during the day?
Yes, definitely, 100%. Matter of fact, you should. Remember, the practice is done during the day, the test time is during the night. So I would encourage everyone to at least take 5 minutes out of their busy life and practice their Ismi Azam during the day, at least for 5 minutes. Because if you don't practice, so the question you should be asking yourself, let's say you are a professional woman and you have a huge job interview tomorrow. When will you practice for your job? When you get to the office, or will you start practicing today? Your answer would be today.
Yes. Today.
So your test is at 4 o'clock. You need to practice during the day. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. Shukran.
So if anybody else has any last questions.
लेकिन आपने अभी ये कहा कि मौला ने फरमान पे कि टेक अ तस्बीह of Ya Allah, Ya Ali, Ya Muhammad. How you can intermingle with the Ismi Azam if you don't have Ismi Azam? One school doesn't have Ismi Azam, and Imam ne bola कि भाई you practice as Ismi Azam. Am I right or am I wrong in this question? or आपने explain मुझे कर दिया please.
जी मैं समझ गया कि देखें हमारे तरीके के अंदर होपलेसनेस नहीं है, राइट? एवरीथिंग इज डिपेंडिंग ऑन द मर्सी ऑफ इमाम. तो ये आंसर उनके लिए था कि जो किसी वजह से वॉट एवर रीजन डजंट मैटर कि वो किसी ने उसको बोला या उसका दिल नहीं हुआ या जो भी हुआ, जिस तरह अभी एक लेडी ने कहा कि मैं अपना इसमें आज़म ही भूल गई हूँ, तो उसके लिए इमाम ने एक और रास्ता खोला हुआ है. ठीक है. और आपके सवाल के मैं दो जवाब दूंगा. पहले एक रास्ता खुला हुआ है कि मौला ने फरमाया अपने मुख मुबारक से और हमारे लिए एज ए इस्माइली इमाम की ज़बान से जो भी इसमें आज़म निकले, यानी कि अली का नाम, मोहम्मद का नाम, अल्लाह का नाम, वो एज ए इस्माइली हमारे लिए इसमें आज़म होता है क्योंकि वो हमारे मौला ने फरमाया. ठीक है. सेकंड आंसर टू योर क्वेश्चन. ओके. जब मौला ने कहा कि इसमें आज़म जो है ना आप अपनी दुनिया के लिए इस्तेमाल ना करें, क्योंकि कुछ लोग क्या करते हैं कि वो समझते हैं कि इसमें आज़म से जो पावर बनता है ना, स्पिरिचुअल पावर, वो अपनी दुनिया के लिए इसको खर्च कर डालते हैं. वो यानी कि दुनिया में कोई मुश्किल है, उन्होंने अपने इसमें आज़म का सहारा लेके दुनिया की मुश्किल ख़त्म कर दी. घर के अंदर कोई मुश्किल है, अपने इसमें आज़म की मदद से घर की मुश्किल ख़त्म कर दी. ये अच्छा तरीका नहीं है, ये अच्छा नहीं है. क्यों बताएं कि इसमें आज़म से जो रूहानियत हम जमा करते हैं ना, वो हमारी आखिरत की पूंजी है. दी गुड डीड्स है हमारी, वो हमको आखिरत में बहुत लंबे अरसे तक इस्तेमाल करनी है. तो इमाम ने हमको ये समझाया कि डोंट यूज इसमें आज़म फॉर स्मॉलेस्ट वर्ल्डली टेम्पररी बेनिफिट्स. ये फरमाते हैं इमाम, क्योंकि इसमें आज़म इज फॉर एवर लास्टिंग स्पिरिचुअल एंड परमानेंट बेनिफिट्स. जी.
I think, Aziz uncle, this was put up a few weeks ago. In one of the farmans in the UK, it has been quoted that Hazrat Imam said that call on your bull at any difficulties at any time, like when you're going through any time in your life, use it as a strength. I think
Yes.
I can't give you the full
As a strength. I know the Farman you're talking about. Okay, so listen to the Farman again. In the time of difficulty, call upon your ball. It will give you strength. And what I just said to the other gentleman, that some people use their spiritual power and utilize that for the temporary benefit of worldly difficulties. There's these two different things. Receiving strength from your Isme Azam, you are not using your Isme Azam to get rid of your parishani, just to receive the strength. You see the difference? There's the two different things we are talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna give you a story, okay? Just an example for you to understand, for everyone to understand, because you have to catch the words I'm using, and I'm very, very careful in the words I'm utilizing in this session, okay? This is just a story. There is no fact, just a story for us to understand when to use Isme Azam and when not to use Isme Azam. So this was one of the Hindu darwish. He walked to a river and he see this ये मछेरा होता है ना जो कश्तियाँ चलाता है, मल्ला बोलते हैं जिसको उर्दू में. He see this shipman. He has a small boat. He said, could you take me to the other side? And the fisherman said, I will charge you 2 anna. I will charge you 2 anna. 2 anna is the 12 cents. Only 12 cents. And the darwish said, I'm a darwish. Why would you want to charge me any money? I have no money. Please take me to the other side. And the fisherman said, no, this is my business. If you want to ride, give me 2 anna, 12 cents. And the Buzruk, he became really anxious. He said, I don't need your boat. And he walked on the water. By using his Isme Azam, he walked on the water and got to the other side. When he got to the other side, the Ram, the Bhagwan, was waiting for him. And he noticed, today, Bhagwan don't want to talk to him. And he said, my Rab, my Bhagwan, what happened? Why are you angry at me? Why don't you talk to me? And you know what Bhagwan said? You just sold your Isme Azam, your spiritual power for 2 anna. 2 आने में आपने अपने Isme Azam को बेच डाला. Do you understand this example?
Yes.
That's exactly what I said. And that's what I said, that when Imam has given from his Mukh Mubarak as an smiley, that holds more elevated value for the smiley than any other words, because one who does not have Isme Azam, for whatever reason they have forgotten their Isme Azam, then Imam has given them a way out, and that is to recite the name of Allah, Ya Muhammad, Ya Ali, or any of the names of the Imam. Because Imam is so merciful, he do not want to leave anyone out. And the other example I had given was, what about those murid who are living in such an area where Imam has never ever visited physically? So Imam do what? In his utmost mercy and wisdom, he send this kind of farman to those Ismailis, and who are intellectual, they will understand what Imam is doing, and they will take this name and they will utilize this name for the progress of their soul. Do you see the difference now?
Yes, yes, okay. I understand.
Now you got it. Now you got it.
Yeah, actually, my question is, okay, we got, like, the promotion. Basically, the second promotion, Imam has allowed missionary to practice, like, basically gave in the Jamaat the actual, what is the nux of the promotion. Hazrat Imam did not give by his own
Altaf, can you repeat that question? It was hard for me to understand.
I think what he's trying to say is someone's had the bowl and they've gone for extension, and this time Hazrat Imam has given a naqsh to the missionary in charge to explain to the gathering, the Jamaat, and he's asking whether, I think from what I've heard, is whether that is, if there's any significance in that from Hazrat Imam giving it to the missionary to give to the members. Does it make a difference, or is there,
okay,
it's up to
so
Hazrat Imam, obviously, but maybe you can explain better.
So can I elaborate there?
Thank you. So remember, in our tradition, in our Ismaili Tariqa, Imam directly coming to the Jamaat and giving Isme Azam is actually a new phenomena. It's not always been like that. After the Almod, it was up to the Peers and Da'is to take the Isme Azam to the Jamaat. And if we understand our history, then this should not even surprise us. Number one. Number two, if Imam have granted a didar and have said that I am giving you a naqsh or Isme Azam, and my missionaries will explain that to you, and you follow their direction, then this matter is closed and there is no questions left to ask, because that is the Imam's wish, farman, and the Isme Azam is from the Imam himself. Very simple. Yes.
We can see you next week again, if that's okay. I will arrange the time for you.
Yes, it will be same time, and hopefully that would be the last session on the Ibadat and Isme Azam. And we will talk about the how to recite Isme Azam, inshallah. Thank you very much for your opportunity. And thank you everybody for great questions. And may Mola accept all your riyazat and menat. Thank you.